Hey guys, it's me, Courtney from Know Your Produce, and today we're gonna make chocolate covered strawberries. So these are just regular organic strawberries. I didn't get any long stem strawberries because I couldn't find them in organic, and I just find that these are perfectly fine as well. I'm gonna quickly wash them. I'm gonna show you how I dry them and then how we cover them in chocolate. Now to clean these, I just like to swish them in some cleaning solution with water. You can find our recipe for cleaning solution on our site, or you could just mix some lemon, vinegar, and baking soda. Some people even use like Dr. Bronner soap, which is great. I like using that for like apples for my daughter because it's just easier for her to use. It shows her that she's like washing it. So now I'm gonna rinse these and then we're gonna dry them. So I have a clean but stained baking sheet, and I'm going to put a clean cloth over top. I like to use a cloth instead of using paper towel. I just find it's like less waste, and it works just as well. And we're just gonna put our strawberries on top. And we're gonna let them air dry. And once they're dry, they'll be ready for dipping. And why we air dry is because if you put the chocolate on the strawberries when it's wet, it's just not gonna stick. It could separate, and chocolate and water just don't get along. See how much water is coming off? If you can see that. I told you this works just as good as paper towel. Just make sure you wash it. So I just like to toss these right into the washing machine, and it makes them nice and clean and perfect for things like this. And now I'm gonna let them sit for like 30 minutes. Okay, so now I just have a little bit of water in a pot and then a glass bowl over top with a spatula so I can scrape the chocolate. I'm gonna melt the chocolate in here, and while we do this, our strawberries are still drying, which is awesome. When you're melting the chocolate, you wanna make sure you're using a dry bowl because, like I said before, chocolate and water don't get along. It will make the chocolate seize up. So we're just melting this. See how the sides, it's melting over here. So just want to scrape the sides down just to get this chocolate evenly melted. And that looks good almost. I'm going to transfer this to like a little jar so it's easier for me to dip the strawberries. And that's good. See how nicely it melted? Look at that. Ooh, chocolate.
Now for dipping the chocolate, I like to put it into a smaller container just like this so it's super easy to dip the strawberries. Now when dipping the strawberries, you want to pull those leaves back so they don't get covered in chocolate. You want that beautiful green leaf, and they really shouldn't have chocolate on them. So just pull them back and then get to dipping. And then I just like to give it a little swirl to get any excess chocolate off of the strawberries. And then once the strawberries are dipped, I like to place them onto a baking sheet. I have lined my baking sheet with a reusable silicone mat, but you could use parchment if that's all you have. Both work just the same. So now let's continue dipping the strawberries. Like I said, you want to pull those leaves back and then you can start dipping them. And the reason I use this smaller bowl is because if I did it in the bowl we melted the chocolate in, it would be really hard to actually get all of the strawberry covered. I'd have to swirl them all around. This is just easier for getting all of the surface area of the strawberries.
Now would be the perfect time to put any sprinkles or jimmies or whatever you want to put on. But if you're going to be drizzling chocolate, you want to put these in the fridge and let them harden. So I'm going to put them in the fridge now, or you could just put them in the fridge like this and let them harden and then serve like that. Now you can add whatever you want. You could use like nonpareil sprinkles. You could use some like graham cracker crumbs. I have some mini Enjoy Life chocolate chips right here. And then we're just gonna drizzle on this chocolate. I had some left over and I added a little bit more, and I'm just using a reusable piping bag. And then I filled it into a cup. So like you put it up like that so it doesn't drip. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little out, make sure there's no air bubbles. And then I'm going to just drizzle this over my strawberries. So you're just gonna go like this. Sweeping motions. And then I'm gonna show you how we can top those now that they have a little bit. You could just literally leave it like that, or you know, a little bit of stuff's gonna stick to them because I don't want a ton of toppings on them. You can do the graham cracker crumbs. Like I said, we're not doing like an amount that is like insane on these, or even like the nonpareils. Or you could just leave it, you know, as is like that one. But if you're making like this with kids, they're gonna love the options of toppings, because what kid doesn't love toppings? So we're gonna sweep across these. I'm gonna keep some plain. So now to take it off the mat, all you need to do is like hold the mat down, and you should, I'm gonna actually put my mic up so you can hear it. It'll come right off. It comes right off of the silicone mat. This one I already peeled off. And then like you could just hear them coming right off. The chocolate is perfectly fine on the bottom. And look at the chocolate, like it's perfect. Like there's nothing left on the mat except for like the drizzle that's on the mat already. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick and easy recipe. My daughter is going to devour some of these when she gets home, as well as my husband. And that is it. And then you can even make this with the kids. They'll have so much fun and they're just ready to eat. So now, like we did drizzle that chocolate, you can put them back in the fridge to let that set, or you can enjoy them right now. So good. Oh! Ooh, one more thing. Put these in the fridge. Do not store them outside of the fridge. They need to be stored in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 days, but they're not going to last that long because they're so delicious and you're going to devour them. Enjoy, guys.